my encouragement to you guys is if you are a white belt, blue belt, or even if you just don't travel that much, anytime you roll with someone that you've never rolled with before, always proceed with a slight level of caution, right? It doesn't mean you can't roll with them. It doesn't mean whatever. Just you have to be ready for the unexpected because you just don't know. You don't know who that person is. You don't know what kind of baggage they're bringing in. You don't know what they're there for. And so you always have to come in a little on the cautious side. Because it'll surprise you. And again, sometimes this happens to me even to this day. There's been times, even as a black belt, where I expect, like I'm talking to the guy and everything's cool. And then we're getting ready to roll. And as soon as we roll, it goes from like 0 to like 3,000, just like 100%. And you're like, whoa, like I thought we were just like having a nice casual, like not casual, but I thought we were having like a nice, like spirited roll. And then like in 2 seconds, it's like snarling and heavy breathing. And like, you can just feel the rigidity in the muscles. I'm like, oh, so that's what we're doing today. Okay. Got it. And so that's the idea. Now, the one sort of side tangent that I'll get into, and then I'll throw it over to Eugene, is that I know anytime this kind of thing comes up, right? And it's come up in the Instagram posts that I've made about this stuff, is people in the self-defense community will do this thing where it's like your little brother that doesn't get a lot of attention. They like, because like the it is, it's like, because the self-defense community. And by the way, if you're a self-defense person, I'm not pooping on you. Just stick with me for a second. But what ends up happening a lot of times is the sport is so captivating, right? Like you think of the ADCC championships, like whether you were a sport or self-defense person, like everybody was out there watching that and enjoying themselves because the sport is captivating. Sure. Right. Seeing sport is captivating. I mean, it's why we watch people throw around balls in a field, right? It's captivating to us. It's fun. And so it has drama. There's conflict resolution, right? We love to see conflict, and we have sport, which is just conflict. So, a lot of times with the self-defense stuff, it doesn't get much attention. And so anytime I see something that relates to the self-defense guy, it's like, see, they should be doing what we're doing, like we're doing it the right way, that kind of thing. And I feel like it's like the little brother that doesn't get much attention, because maybe they're just not, like, for whatever reason, doing something that's worthy of attention. But with the self-defense stuff, I agree that, people should always be taught some of the fighting elements of jiu-jitsu, right? Like, hey, if someone lifts you up, you need to hook the leg to prevent that, and, all this stuff. But again, here's the deal. The rules of engagement will dictate what you expect. So back in the day, I used to fight MMA, and I still spar sometimes with like fighting stuff. And if I'm in fight mode, like where I'm expecting a punch, my jiu-jitsu is different. And even my perception is different. Like if I get punched in the face, the way that I perceive that punch is very different. Like it's okay. It's like, it doesn't hurt so bad. But if I'm not expecting it, if I'm not ready, and someone was to punch me in the face, it's like, hold on a second. Like in the middle of a roll, if someone decks me on an accident because I go for a sweep and their hand just so happens to, like, bludgeon me a little bit in the mouth, I'm like, hold on a second. That one hurt. Give me a second here. Or, either that or, maybe we keep going. But if it's a real good one, I'm like, just give me a second. Whereas in a fight, I expect that, so I'm going to play differently. And so with the rules of engagement in a jiu-jitsu setting versus jiu-jitsu setting, you don't expect that. Even like me, I've gone to several self-defense based gyms with the name Gracie across the side, right? Which tells you what they're about, which is completely fine. I think it's good stuff. And when I would go to these gyms, like if I was to go in there and during our rolls where we're doing jiu-jitsu versus jiu-jitsu, if I was to just start punching them because that's what could happen in the streets, they would be like, whoa, what are you doing, Chewy? We're rolling, right? And I'm like, well, I could do this in the streets. You got to be ready, right? And so it's just not a good argument for the situation. Again, it's good to know those things, but at the same time, when you're expecting one thing and you get another, that's the problem. And so my encouragement to you is never expect someone to engage by the same rules, especially on those first couple of rolls where you're kind of feeling the person out. It allows you to get to know them a little bit first. And then you can maybe let your guard down and play a little bit differently, or maybe you have to turn it up a little bit because of the way they are rolling, but it'll give you a good read on who they are and how they're trying to roll with you. So just an idea to chew on, just one of my rules when it comes to rolling with brand new people that I've never rolled with.
So